There comes a time in many people's lives when they look around and realize that they have everything they once prayed for: a roof over their heads, financial stability, good food, even comfort and conveniences that their parents or grandparents never dreamed of. Yet deep inside, there is no peace. The nights feel long, the mornings feel empty, and the heart aches for something it cannot name. Napoleon Hill, in his timeless philosophy, warned us of this paradox. He said, "Riches without peace of mind are like food without nourishment." And this is one of the greatest truths of human life. Comfort does not guarantee peace. Convenience does not guarantee happiness. You can have all the material security in the world and still feel like something essential is missing. Why does this happen? Why do so many people reach the so-called dream life and yet find themselves restless, anxious, and unfulfilled? To understand this, we must look deeper into the principles Napoleon Hill outlined in Think and Grow Rich in his later works. The first truth is this: peace of mind is a product of purpose, not possessions. Comfort makes life easier, but it does not make life meaningful. A man who wakes up every day with no purpose, with no burning desire to achieve something, will eventually fall into despair, no matter how luxurious his surroundings are. Hill taught that definiteness of purpose is the first step toward real riches, and peace of mind is one of those riches. Without a clear direction, your mind becomes a battlefield where worry and doubt take over. Think about it. People often spend years chasing money, recognition, or security. They sacrifice their energy, health, and relationships in the process. But once they arrive at their destination, they suddenly ask, "Now what?" And in that question lies the seed of restlessness. Comfort without purpose is emptiness disguised. The second truth is this: peace comes from within, not from the outside. Hill emphasized the law of the mind, that thoughts create reality. If your thoughts are filled with fear, doubt, jealousy, and comparison, no amount of comfort will soothe you. You could be sitting in a beautiful house, eating the best food, and still feel restless because your mind is poisoned by negative emotions. Hill called these the 6 basic fears: the fear of poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death. Even wealthy people are not immune to them. That's why many live in silent misery, prisoners of their own thoughts. The third truth: peace of mind requires harmony. Napoleon Hill identified peace as one of the 12 riches of life, but he said it cannot exist without harmony with yourself, with others, and with your Creator. You cannot enjoy peace if you are constantly in conflict, fighting guilt from the past, bitterness toward people, or regret for missed opportunities. Many people with comfort fail here. They surround themselves with convenience, but not with love or forgiveness. They accumulate wealth, but not harmonious relationships. And so they feel lonely even in a crowded house. So what is the solution? How does a person who has comfort but lacks peace find the missing piece? The first step is to rediscover purpose. Ask yourself, what gives my life meaning beyond survival? What contribution do I want to make to the world? What dream excites me so much that it makes me jump out of bed? Hill often repeated, "A man without a major purpose is like a ship without a compass." Find your purpose and your peace will start to return, because the soul rests only when it knows why it exists. The second step is to master your thoughts. Begin to replace negative emotions with positive ones deliberately. Hill said the mind is like a garden. It will grow weeds if you do not plant flowers. Weeds of fear, doubt, and envy creep in naturally. But gratitude, faith, courage, and love must be planted every single day. You may have comfort, but to gain peace, you must practice gratitude, not just saying thank you, but truly seeing the blessings that money cannot buy. The third step is to align your life with principles of harmony. Make peace with your past. Forgive those who wronged you, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Strengthen your relationships, listen, love, and care deeply. And above all, connect with your Creator. Napoleon Hill was clear: no matter how much a person achieves, there is always a higher power at work. Peace comes when you recognize that you are part of something greater and you surrender your anxieties to it. Hill also warned us about the dangers of drifting. He said most people live as drifters. They have no real purpose, no self-discipline, and they allow external circumstances to control them. A drifter may have comfort but will never have peace, because the mind without direction is like a ship tossed by every wave. To escape drifting, you must take charge of your life deliberately. Decide what you want, discipline your mind, and act with persistence. Comfort is not the enemy. It is a blessing. But when it becomes the destination instead of the foundation, it turns into a trap. Peace is found when comfort is used as a tool, not as an idol. Use your resources, your time, and your conveniences to serve a higher purpose, to grow, to give, and to leave a legacy. Then, and only then, will comfort transform into peace. Imagine a life where your heart is calm, your nights are restful, and your mornings are filled with excitement, not because you have everything, but because you know why you are here. This is what Napoleon Hill wanted for every reader of his philosophy. Not just wealth, not just comfort, but the deeper riches of life, faith, love, harmony, wisdom, and peace of mind. So if you find yourself restless despite having comfort, remember this truth. The missing piece is not more things, but more meaning. Begin today. Define your purpose. Guard your thoughts. Live in harmony, and soon you will discover that peace is not something you chase outside. It is something you build within.